Open fire.
The Pentagon sent to Ukraine 10 of the newest model Switchblade drones armed with tank-busting warheads in addition to previously announced deliveries of a less powerful version, according to two people familiar with the decision. The new Switchblade 600 weapons are part of $300 million in lethal military assistance announced by the Pentagon. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin on Tuesday confirmed the tank-killing drones are part of the weaponry being sent to Ukraine. The White House said that it was supplying 100 Switchblade drones as part of a $800 million package of weapons and gear taken from U.S. inventories. But those systems are the Series 300 inches versions, 3.3 pound, 2.5 kilograms, drones designed to attack personnel and light vehicles. They can fly about 6 miles, 10 kilometers, and loiter over a target roughly 15 minutes, according to a fact sheet produced by the manufacturer, AeroVironment Inc. Switchblade is a miniature loitering munition, designed by AeroVironment and used by several branches of the United States military. Small enough to fit in a backpack, the Switchblade launches from a tube, flies to the target area, and crashes into its target while detonating its explosive warhead. The name Switchblade comes from the way the spring-loaded wings are folded up inside a tube and flip out once released. Introduced in 2011, the original Switchblade was rebranded the Switchblade 300 after the much larger and very different Switchblade 600 anti-armor variant was unveiled in 2020. The Blackwing, an unarmed variant of the Switchblade 300, was released in 2015. Conceived by the U.S. Air Force Special Operations Command, AFSOC, developed by the U.S. Army, the Switchblade was meant to help U.S. troops respond to enemy ambushes in Afghanistan. Close air support takes time to arrive, is expensive to conduct, and risks collateral damage in urban areas. Troop-carried guided missiles such as the FGM-148 Javelin are also expensive, and few if any are carried on a typical patrol. Human portable unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs, like the Raven or Puma can spot threats but lack weapons. The backpackable, relatively inexpensive Switchblade has sensors to help spot enemy fighters and an explosive warhead to attack them from above, which is especially helpful in dug-in positions like rooftops or ridgelines. On the 29th of July 2011, the U.S. Army awarded AeroVironment a $4.9 million contract for rapid fielding of an unspecified number of Switchblades to forces in Afghanistan. On the 20th of March 2012, the Army added $5.1 million, totaling $10 million. In May 2012, the United States Marine Corps began ordering Switchblades to allow troops to strike improvised explosive device, IED, emplacement teams and similar targets. Usually when air support is called in, attackers slip away before a large UAV, attack helicopter, fighter bomber, or quick reaction force can arrive on station. Marines sometimes couldn't get support due to other units getting mission priority. The Switchblade is small enough to fit in a Marine's Alice or Maul pack and locks onto and tracks a target once selected. In late 2012, 75 Switchblades were supplied to U.S. soldiers in Afghanistan. Several successful employments had occurred by January 2013. Although the military would not confirm details about its deployment, effectiveness, distribution, or tactical employment, commanders reported that it was very effective. Shortly after, a joint urgent needs statement was requested by the Army theater commanders for more systems. The number requested was not specified, but was dramatically more than the 75 systems initially supplied and exceeded budget limitations. The Switchblade gained notoriety among soldiers using it and insurgents targeted by it. The Army classifies it as a direct fire munition rather than a drone. Soldiers embraced it as a valuable tool, especially to reduce collateral damage. Unlike most other weapons, the Switchblade can wave off or abort a mission if the situation changes after launch, allowing it to engage a secondary target or destroy itself without inflicting casualties or property damage. Wave off was used over a dozen times to prevent civilian casualties that could have been caused had a person not been in the decision loop. On the 28th of August 2013, AeroVironment announced it had been awarded 5 contracts totaling $15.8 million to supply more Switchblade systems, ancillary equipment, and support to the Army. 1 week later, the Pentagon gave the company a follow-on contract worth $6.6 million. On 5 September 2013, AeroVironment was awarded a $29 million contract modification to supply Switchblade munition systems and associated hardware and support services, totaling $51.4 million worth in contracts announced over 9 days. In April 2015, the Marines test-fired a Switchblade out of the back of an MV-22 Osprey. The drone was not equipped with a warhead, but was successfully released and accurately steered toward a target. The test showed that the Switchblade could be air-launched from the aircraft and at a remotely controlled, weaponized surveillance tool to the Osprey. From its introduction to the end of Operation Enduring Freedom, over 4,000 Switchblades were deployed in Afghanistan. In mid-2017, 350 Switchblades were delivered to SOCOM for use against Islamic State. On 28 April 2016, AeroVironment announced they had developed an upgrade for the Switchblade tactical missile system designated Block 10C. In October 2016, AeroVironment announced the Multi-Pack Launcher, MPL, a system to carry and remotely launch several Switchblades. In October 2020, AeroVironment announced a project with Kratos Defense and Security Solutions to demonstrate a high-speed, long-range unmanned combat air vehicle that serves as a mothership to deliver Switchblade 300s in large numbers that cooperatively attack and overwhelm enemy defenses. In late 2018, AeroVironment was working on the larger Switchblade 600. In March 2020, AeroVironment revealed it had flight tested the product the previous year. In October 2020, AeroVironment unveiled the larger unit. By the time of its unveiling, it had undergone 60 test flights from ground launches against fixed and moving targets. On 31 March 2021, AeroVironment was awarded a $26.1 million contract by SOCOM for the Switchblade 600. The system addresses the United States Naval Special Warfare Command's Maritime Precision Engagement (MPE) requirement to engage asymmetric threats with combatant craft medium (CCM) and heavy (CCH) boats acting as host platforms. The Switchblade 300 is designed as an expendable UAV to increase precision firepower for platoon-sized infantry units. It is 2 feet, 610 millimeters, long and weighs 6 pounds, 2.7 kilograms, including the carrying case and launcher, making it small and light enough for one soldier to carry. It can be controlled up to 10 kilometers, 6.2 miles. Its small size limits its endurance to 10 minutes. This makes it unsuited for scouting roles, but it is useful for inexpensively engaging long-range targets and assisting in relieving units pinned down by enemy fire. The Switchblade uses a color camera and GPS locating to identify, track, and engage targets, as well as being able to be pre-programmed on a collision course. Its warhead has an explosive charge equivalent to a 40 mm grenade to destroy light armored vehicles and personnel. If a situation causes a strike to be called off, the operator can call off the Switchblade and re-target it. Launch unit for the Switchblade 300. Compressed air is used to shoot the drone out of the tube. The aircraft is propelled by an electric engine, so its small size and silent flight makes it extremely difficult to detect or try to intercept, enabling it to close in on a target at 85 knots, 98 miles per hour, 157 kilometers per hour. The Switchblade uses the same ground control station, GCS, as other AeroVironment UAVs including the Wasp, RQ-11 Raven, and RQ-20 Puma. This creates commonality and the potential for teaming of longer endurance small UAVs to recon for targets, then having the Switchblade attack once they are identified with the same controller. U.S. Army regulations categorize the Switchblade as a missile rather than a drone. The term, loitering munition, is preferred to describe it. Unlike UAVs, it is not recoverable once launched. Its operation is similar to that of the wireless tow missile, through a fly-by radio frequency signal. The only difference being the tow doesn't loiter, but both have the same operator-in-the-loop characteristics. The Switchblade uses daytime and infrared cameras, as well as an aided target tracker, to lock on to stationary and moving targets. The warhead is specifically designed for controlled firepower to reduce collateral damage through a focused blast. It has a forward-firing shotgun blast effect rather than a 360-degree blast, throwing pellets in the direction that the missile is traveling. As we see with such weapons that the US sent to Ukraine, the war in Ukraine may very soon end with the defeat of the Russians. That's all for me. Subscribe to the channel and like this video to keep abreast of all the news from their world of military technology.